filth. Anyway, John 7, here's the thing. Here's the objection brought by Zena. John 7, verses 1 to 10. After this, Jesus went around in Galilee. He did not want to go about in Judea because the Jewish leaders there were looking for a way to kill him. But when the Jewish festival of tabernacles was near, Jesus' brothers said to him, leave Galilee and go to Judea so that your disciples there may see the works you do. No one who wants to become a public figure acts in secret. Since you are doing these things, show yourself to the world. For even his own brothers do not believe in him. Therefore, Jesus told them, now here's the objection, my time is not yet here. For you, any time will do. The world cannot hate you. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify its works are evil. Now, here's the objection, guys. It's an objection raised by Muslims, anti-Christians of various stripes who don't believe Jesus is sinless, let alone God in the flesh. You go to the festival. I am not going up to this festival because my time has not yet fully come. After he had said this, he stayed in Galilee. Now, here's the question. However, after his brothers had left for the festival, he went also, not publicly, but in secret. We got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. Jesus said in verse 8, you guys go up to the festival. I'm not going to the festival because my time has not yet fully come. But then in 10 says, when his brothers did go up to the festival, Jesus then went up secretly, not publicly. So she heard, and she's not the only one, a Christian saying, a Christian, mind you, saying, here Jesus lied to save himself. Was that true, Zena? Is that what you heard? Because he said, I'm not going up, you go up. They went up, and he did go up secretly, not publicly.
I couldn't believe it. On a Christian call-in radio show, a caller said, it's okay for Christians to lie. After all, Jesus lied to his own brothers. Wait a minute. Jesus lied? Jesus is God. Jesus never lied. Where did he get that? Well, it turns out his Bible is missing an important word. The word turned Jesus into a liar. I'm David Daniels, author of the book, Look What's Missing. Let me tell you what happened. The caller was referring to John chapter 7. In it we find that Jesus had been in Galilee for the last few months. The Jewish leaders wanted Jesus dead. Jesus knew that. But man wasn't going to determine when Jesus would die for the sins of mankind. He had a time that he had chosen, and this was not it. So he stayed in Galilee. Meanwhile, the Feast of Tabernacles had come. That was one of the 3 feasts where every Jewish male had to go up to Jerusalem. Jesus' 4 half-brothers, James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas, they're all ready to go. They're in the caravan saying, come on, Jesus, let's go. But he's not budging. What's Jesus going to do? He has 2 options. A, he can stay and for the first time in his life disobey the law that he gave to Moses. Or B, he could go and show himself to the priests and get himself killed before the time he had chosen. What would he do? Well, according to this caller's Bible, Jesus said, you go up. I'm not going up to this feast. And he stayed in Galilee. But a little while later, there Jesus is in Jerusalem. According to that Bible, Jesus lied to his brothers. How would they ever believe him again when he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life? Wait a second. If Jesus lied and God never lies, how could Jesus be God? Do you see where this is going? Ouch. The caller was saying, Jesus lied. And so can we if we have a good reason. They went on talking, and the caller said, I think we have a little wiggle room. The host laughed and said, that's what we call it, wiggle room. Listen, if you start talking about wiggle room in your Bible, you've got a problem. There is no wiggle room in a King James Bible. I've got news for you. The host was a Christian college professor. Do you know what he should have said? He should have said, "Wait a minute, your Bible's missing an important word." What is that word? 3 letters. Y-E-T. Yet. Here's what a real Bible says. John 7, verse 8. I go not up yet unto this feast, for my time is not yet full come. And saying these things, he stayed in Galilee. That makes perfect sense. Jesus didn't go up then, but after his family had gone up, he went up secretly. So 1, he kept the law of Moses, and 2, he didn't expose himself to the priests and an early death.
Zena, yes. In the King James Bible and in the majority of Greek copies, that word yet is there. We're going to talk about it. So now you guys are ready for me to go in depth on this issue? Are you guys ready for me to go in depth? Thank our sister Zena for bringing this up. I'm addressing it again. So there are 2 issues with John 7. Now he's going to open it up. Do John 7:8 because I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you a feature, guys, BibleGateway.com. Thank the Lord for all these modern resources that are free. Just pay for an internet. Now, here's what you're going to do. You see those 2, like they look like phones? You see where it says John 7:8? Yeah, okay. Click on it. It's going to give you a parallel Bible. Scroll down. Let's see what Bible it gave you. Okay, King James. Beautiful. The 2 best-selling Bibles in the world. 2 best-selling Bibles in the world. NIV, King James Version. They've done studies. The King James Bible with the NIV are the best-selling Bibles in the English-speaking world. This is a fact. More King James Bibles and NIVs are sold all over the world among those who read English. Now watch here. Watch here, guys. Augustine, I hope you're paying attention. You're not distracting. Look at the NIV. You go to the festival. I am not going up to this festival because my time has not yet fully come. Now you see there's a bracket and an A. Don't click on it because it's going to indicate something. Now look to the right. Go ye up unto this feast. I go not up yet. Do you see that, Zena? I go not up yet unto this feast, for my time is not yet full come. So in the majority of the Greek copies and some very early witnesses, that word yet is in John 7:8. Some of the early copies don't have it, but the NIV has a note, as one brother already signified in the comment section. You see the bracket? It's a bracket and A. Click on that A. Look what it says. Some manuscripts have not yet. Some manuscripts not yet. So the NIV is indicating there are some early Greek copies that are important witnesses that have the words not yet. The majority of the Greek copies of John 7, the majority of the 5,300 plus have these words or the word rendered as not yet. So now let's look at the textual data. Now what I want you to do is X out one of the translations. X them out. So I want to thank you, brother. You really are helping me. Honestly, you come at the perfect time. Now, what I want you to do is, where it says King James Version, go to the NET. NET. See why this guy's a blessing, guys? Him and Prophet Google. I pray for them because you see how easy he makes it for me. Now, here, the New English translation has a note. You go up to the feast yourselves. I'm not going up to the feast. Now, when we look at their note B, scroll down, it gives you a lengthy note on the textual data. Here it is, B, John 7:8. Let's read it, guys. Here it goes. Go to the B, John 7:8. Scroll down a little more, right there. Scroll. You see that C, TC? When you see the words TC, that means textual critical note. It's a note on the manuscripts that affect the meaning of the verse. Now notice what it says. Most manuscripts, P6675, and then it gives you the list of the manuscripts and their names. B, L, T, W, right? Epsilon, and I think the theta, epsilon. Manuscript number 070, 015, 0250, F1, 13, MA. Including most of the better witnesses have not yet. Upo. Did you guys catch it? Now, Zena, everyone else, I want you to see the letter P and the number 6675. P 6675. Those are the two oldest Greek copies of the Gospel of John. These are the two Greek copies that even James White swears by to argue that John 1:18 originally reads only begotten God. So you guys seeing it? P66, P75 are the two oldest Greek copies of John that we have that contain John 7, right? The oldest surviving copies that contain John 1:18 and John 7. And here, Zena, everyone else, let me know, Zena, if you're getting it, because it was your question. It has the words not yet, upo. I do not go up yet. So the majority of copies, some of our most important witnesses in John 7:8 have that word upo, which in English means not yet. You go up, I do not go up yet. So if we go with the evidence, there's no problem, because Jesus said, you go up, I'm not going up yet. That solves the problem. Okay? Everyone with me there? But now let's read the rest of it, because these translators, they prioritize the earlier papyri witnesses, and they don't give as much weight to the later Greek copies, though they are in the majority. They follow what they call recent eclecticism. They don't follow the Byzantine textual tradition, which is the majority of the Greek copies of the New Testament books, because they're later in time. Now, for you Orthodox, the Orthodox Church follows the Byzantine text. The Orthodox Church follows what they call the majority text. The official stream, textual stream of the Greek New Testament accepted by the Orthodox is the majority text, the Byzantine text, which reads not yet, because they're the majority of copies, right? Even though they come from a later period. But the beauty about this variant, it's not just from a later period. Our oldest copies that contain John 1:18 and John 7, P6675, have the words as well. So now these scholars are like, okay, this is the evidence. This evidence shows, okay, these are original to what John wrote and what Jesus said. So then why does the NET omit it? Why does NIV omit it? Here's their reason. Here's why they omit it. Guys, listen. Those with the reading uk are not as impressive. Uk means I don't go up. I go up not. I don't go up. They're not as impressive. No, it's meaning. That reading is not as impressive. The one that says not yet, that's impressive. The manuscripts that have upo, they're impressive. The one that says uk, I don't go up, or I go up not as impressive. But the reading that says I don't go up yet, I go up not yet, that is impressive. They're admitting it, right? You're reading it? But uk is the more difficult reading here, especially because it stands in tension with verse 10, where he does go up. On the other hand, it is possible that uk arose because of a homoio arcton, meaning a confusion of letters. A copyist who saw upo wrote uk. That's probably why you have in some manuscripts the word uk, I go up not, as opposed to upo, I go up not yet, because someone may have misread upo for uk, accounting for the variant reading. However, it is more likely that upo, now notice what they say here. Look what they say. Was introduced early on to harmonize with what is said 2 verses later. Did you guys catch it? They're admitting the word upo, not yet, early. It's in some of the earliest copies, and it's in the majority of our witnesses. And the two oldest copies that I'm aware of that have John 7:8, P66, right, and P75 have upo, I go up not yet. So they're admitting it's early, but you know what? It may be a scribe early on changed uk to upo because he wanted it to harmonize with John 7:10. See what they're doing? As for Jesus' refusal to go up to the feast in verse 8, the statement does not preclude action of a different kind at a later point. So even though they don't accept not yet, upo, they go with the reading uk, I go up not, I do not go up, they're still telling you there's no problem. There's no contradiction. There's no lie. Because Jesus is saying he's not going to go up a certain way, publicly, in public procession. Because when they went to the Feast of Tabernacles, people went into groups. They went up publicly together, which is what Jesus said he will not do. And I'm going to show you that even if we go with the reading preferred by inspiring Satanism, there's no contradiction, because Jesus's brothers are asking him to go up publicly with them in public procession to make himself seen to the public crowd. It's in that sense he's not going up. That's why he went up secretly, discreetly. Where's the contradiction? Where's the lie? But let me continue. Okay. And they admitted, look, as for Jesus's refusal to go up to the feast in verse 8, the statement does not exclude action of a different kind at a later point. Jesus may simply have been refusing to accompany his brothers with the rest of the group of pilgrims, preferring to travel separately and in secret with his disciples. So let's harmonize the issue. Go back to John 7:8 NIV. We'll open up John 7 verses 1:8 first. John 7 verses 1:8. Now open up, go back and open up the other, where you see the phone right there, the phone. Okay, we're going to look at two versions. We're going to explain it. In fact, do John 7, 1 to 10. I'm sorry, to 10. Okay, no, even Jade. Let's go with the NIV. Let's read the NIV, okay? Either reading, there is no contradiction. After this, Jesus went around in Galilee. He did not want to go about in Judea because the Jewish leaders there were looking for a way to kill him. But when the Jewish festival of tabernacles was near, Jesus's brothers said to him, leave Galilee and go to Judea so that your disciples there may see the works you do. Now watch, here's the key. No one who wants to become a public figure acts in secret. That's the key. Even a blind mule, a blind donkey can see. They're asking Jesus, go up publicly, go up with the procession of pilgrims, go up with the crowd, show yourself publicly, because it's right there. No one who wants to become a public figure acts in secret. Since you are doing these things, show yourself to the world. You understand what they're asking him to do? Go with the pilgrims in public procession and full view of everyone to Jerusalem so everyone sees you. It's right there. Now, in light of that, let's read what he says. For even his own brothers did not believe in him. Therefore, Jesus told them, my time is not yet here. For you, any time will do. It's not yet my time to show myself publicly. Catch the context. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify that its works are evil. Now, here's the key. You go to the festival. I am not going up to this festival because my time has not yet fully come. Now, let me ask you a question. Those of you who know how to read context. When Jesus says to them, you go up to the festival, I'm not going up to the festival because it's not my time yet. In what sense, in what way is he saying he will not go up to the festival? What was the context? What were they asking him to do? Were they asking him to go to the feast secretly? No. Go up, show yourself publicly. Show yourself to your disciples. Show the world your works. So when Jesus says, I will not go to the festival, is he saying I won't go altogether? Or I'm not going to go and do what you're asking me to do. I won't go publicly and show myself, not yet anyway. Where's the problem? Even with the NIV reading, where's the lie? Where's the lie? After he had said this, he stayed in Galilee. And exactly, he didn't lie. He remained behind. He let all the pilgrims go up publicly. And then when they went up publicly, he went up secretly. Here you go. However, after his brothers had left for the festival, after they had gone, they already left. He went also, not publicly, but in secret. So he actually did what he said he would do and didn't do what he said he wouldn't do. I'm not going to show myself publicly to the world because your motive is you want to get me killed. It's not my time to show myself publicly yet. You go ahead. That's why he went secretly. In case you missed it, I don't need upo, the King James rendering. I do not go up yet. I don't even need that word upo. I can go with uk and I get the point. Let's reread John 7, 1-4 again. Go up here, just in case you miss it. After this, Jesus went around in Galilee. He did not want to go about in Judea because the Jewish leaders there were looking for a way to kill him. But when the Jewish festival of tabernacles was near, Jesus's brothers said to him, leave Galilee and go to Judea so that your disciples there, you got disciples waiting for you there, see the works you do. No one wants to become a public figure. Acts in secret. But what did Jesus do? He came in secret, not publicly. The very opposite of what they asked him to do. Where's the lie? They're telling him, go public, not in secret. I don't go public. It's not my time yet. I wait for the Father to tell me, so I go up in secret. Where is the lie? Since you are doing these things, show yourself to the world. No, he came in secret. Where is the lie, guys? So I don't even need the King James upo. I don't go up, not yet. I can go with uk. Right? So let's wrap it up with this because I want to end it with this point. So you have two issues at hand. Issue number one, two issues at hand. The variant reading. Some of our very earliest copies of John 7:8, and the majority of the copies have the word upo, where Jesus in John 7:8 says, I will not go up yet. I go up not yet. That's the majority reading. This is why, stick with your King James Bible, you English speakers, or the New King James, or the modern English version. Okay? They read the same way. But some early copies don't have it, so the majority of your translations, NIV, NAT, ESV, omit that word, upo, and they go with uk. I go up, not. I don't go up. Even if we go with the reading, I don't go up, there's no contradiction. There's no contradiction. Because he's telling them he's not going to go up publicly to show himself publicly to the world, which is what they're asking him to do. They're not saying go up secretly. They're not saying just show up any way you want, publicly or secretly. They're asking for him to go up specifically, publicly, with the procession and the pilgrims, so he can be seen publicly because they want to get him arrested and killed. Everyone got it? Seeing everyone getting it? So either reading, there's no contradiction. Let's assume the original reading of John 7:8 did not have the word upo. Let's assume that when John, by inspiration of the Holy Spirit, wrote down the words of Christ accurately, he did not write down Jesus saying, I go up not yet. He wrote down Jesus saying, I go up not. I don't go up. Let's say that's the original reading. Then that means someone added the word upo. Someone then came and added the word upo, where now Jesus says, I go up not yet. So why would someone add the word upo if that's not what Jesus said and John recorded? Very simple. There were scribes, if it's not original. If it's not original. I believe it is original. That's why I like here. The Orthodox Study Bible goes with the majority. I am not yet going, but I want you to hear this. Let's assume the word upo, not yet, wasn't what Jesus said in his mother tongue and wasn't what John wrote down by inspiration. It was added. Scribe added upo. Why would the scribe add it? Well, let's assume it was added. It only makes sense that a scribe would add it because he knew there would be idiots who would misread Jesus's words to thinking Jesus lied. So he may have thought that, you know what? It is obvious Jesus said, upo, not yet, because that's what we find in John 7:10. You get the point? If it's not original, and I believe it is original, but a scribe added it, I can see why a scribe would add it, even though I don't believe it was added, even though if it was, I'm not saying this was the motive of the scribe, because unless we know who the scribe is and ask him, it's conjecture. But I could assume that if it was added by a scribe in order to avoid stupid idiots who think they're Christian and blasphemers like Muslims or anti-Trinitarians and atheists for misquoting John 7:8 to make Jesus a liar. You see the point? So if it was added, I can understand why it would be added, because I'm sure there were people at that time who also misused this verse. But even without the word upo, not yet, there is no contradiction, because the disciples, not the disciples, the brothers of Jesus, so-called brothers, are asking him to go up a certain way, go up publicly, go with the pilgrims in public procession, show yourself, because they want to get rid of him and get him arrested. And Jesus says, I'm not going up publicly, which he didn't. He went secretly. So you see, either way, there is no problem for someone who seeks the Holy Spirit to help him and her understand. But now you know why you have people like David W. Daniels. Now you know why you have King James onlyists. Now you know why they produce videos, because you heard what David W. Daniels said on a Christian radio talk show. A Christian professor teaching at a Christian college said Jesus lied in John 7 verse 8. Now let's destroy this argument from the context. Now you don't need NIV. Go to John 7:18, semicolon, and we're done. John 17, semicolon, and 8:29. John 7:18, 7, not 17. John 7:18, semicolon, semicolon, 8:28 to 29, dash 29, and then comma, 46. Okay, here you go. Thank you. Okay, here you go. John 7:18. Same chapter. Same chapter. Watch. He that speaketh of himself. This is Jesus speaking, by the way. Guys, Zena, everyone, you need to listen, especially you, Zena, because this is your argument. He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory. When someone speaks out of his own desire, he's seeking self-glory. But he that seeketh his glory that sent him, I, Jesus, seek the glory of my Father who sent me. The same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. Did you catch it? The very same chapter. Challenging his opponents and telling them, I who seek the glory of my Father am true. There is no unrighteousness in me. John 7:18. But now let's read John 8:28 to 29. Watch here, guys, how bad it's going to get for this clown. See now, Zena, isn't that confirmation? You know I'm a godsend. John 8:28, 29. Now watch here. Then said Jesus unto them, when ye have lifted up the Son of Man, then shall ye know that I am he. Now watch here. Ortho, everyone. Notice how he now blasphemed God the Father. He now blasphemed God the Father, because that means God the Father taught Jesus to lie for a virtuous reason. Why do I say that? You know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father hath taught me, I speak these things. Since Jesus says, I only speak what the Father commands me, that means according to inspiring Satanists, the Father taught and commanded Jesus to lie. So that means the Father, with the Son and the Spirit, lied for a virtuous reason. See it? And then notice John 8:29. And he that sent me is with me. The Father hath not left me alone. Why? The Father did not leave me, for I do always those things that please him. Let me repeat it 2 more times. I, the Son, do always those things that please him. I always do, every second, every minute, every day, for all eternity. I always do what pleases the Father. I never displease the Father. I can never displease the Father. I only do what pleases him. I only do what he tells me to do, and I only do what he does. John 5:19. That means the Father taught Jesus, commanded Jesus to lie for a virtuous reason. So the Father is complicit and the Spirit is complicit in Jesus's lie. John 8:46. Which of you convinceth me of sin? In other words, which of you can prove I've sinned? You got it? That's it. We're done.